Audio on demand from Vision Christian Media.
Exploring faith and the future. Neil Johnson and Bible teacher Dr. Kameel Majdali.
We're talking about that towering figure of the Old Testament, Joseph. Kameel, Joseph, such a spiritual man.
Well, Joseph was a spiritual man, though not in the same way as we can be spiritual today. But he was a spiritual man because in addition to his amazing experience and ability at management, his management skills were so good, he was in demand, whether it was with his father's flock, Potiphar's house, or even in the prison. Everybody wanted him because Joseph got things done. But in addition to that, he was connected to God and he could interpret dreams and visions. This was not just a highly sought-after skill in antiquity, Neil. It's something we need today because people are looking for leadership and asking, is there a word from the Lord? People who are connected to God and are spiritual in the biblical sense will always have a word from God. Joseph, of course, is a good example of that.
But Kameel, spirituality and management are not necessarily connected because we might not necessarily have that same management skill today, but we're still called to be spiritual people.
Right. Technically speaking, management is a separate issue to being spiritual. As we well know, there's a lot of unspiritual good managers. But I believe ultimately, if you're going to live a life in harmony with God, in God's kingdom, a God-pleasing life, then it has to be on God's terms, God's territory, and God's timing. That's my 3 T's. God's terms, territory, and timing. The way to live a God-pleasing life and therefore have the blessing of God and the favor of God in everything you do is to please Him. And how do we please Him? It's not by being religious and keeping rules and regulations. There's plenty of that out there, and that's not getting anyone anywhere. No, it's actually by being born of the Spirit and baptized in the Spirit and walking in the Spirit. All these are biblical terms. Joseph, I wouldn't say had all that, but he certainly had enough. I mean, because, of course, we're talking about a New Testament context. Joseph is very much an Old Testament figure. But the thing he had, of course, he was close to God, and the Bible says the Lord was with Joseph. Now, when you have that, that is a spirituality where God can download to you whatever He wants to say, and you can upload to God your prayers, your needs, and your hopes and fears.
When we talk about Joseph's spirituality, we certainly are talking about this ability, and as you say, downloading. But we might talk about that as having some special prophetic insight. He had that in his own family and through those whole series of issues that he faced throughout his life.
Yes, Joseph, part of it, I believe, was his pedigree. He's the son of Jacob. Jacob is a man of promise. Jacob is a man of covenant. So there is the passing on of heritage that is so wonderful. But in addition, Joseph's adversity forced him into the presence of God, forced him to cleave to the Lord, because that he was in Egypt, separated from family, separated from familiar surroundings, separated from everything that was near and dear, and he had no other security except in God. In fact, he learned what it meant that God was all he had, but that God was all he needed. That kind of dependence on God brings what I call true humility, and true humility delivers the grace of God every single time. When you have the grace of God, you will have a word from God that will hit the mark and bring you into favor, just like in the life of Joseph.
Faith and the Future with Neil Johnson and Dr. Kameel Majdali from Teach All Nations. Find articles, videos and podcasts from Dr. Kameel, plus today's and other episodes of Faith and the Future in the Vision app or at vision.org.au.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.